Bong Joon-Ho is the incredible award-winning director behind great movies such as Snowpiercer, Memories of a Murder, and 4-time Academy Award winner Parasite. And I'm going to be attempting his film watching routine. Pause. You may be thinking, why are you even doing this? Well, recently I discovered a video from Tiff, where Bong explains how he wakes up at 5 AM and watches a film before anyone else in his house is awake and before he gets on with his day. So I figured, what better way to get me up earlier and also see if this routine works? Here is how it went.
It's currently 5:02.
For this challenge, I'm going to be watching 3 separate films on 3 separate days. A black and white film, so it's not too harsh on my eyes. An animated film to ease me into the day. And finally, a 3-hour-long epic to really test myself. Starting off on day 1, we have Ed Wood. But first,
he begins the day by opening the fridge.
Now, Ed Wood, if you aren't familiar, is a dramatised true story starring Johnny Depp as Edward D. Wood Jr., a passionate man who, when he befriends a declining Hollywood star, will stop at nothing to make movies for the love of the art. This film was directed by Tim Burton, and honestly maybe my favourite film of his to date. But how was waking up early? Well, I can't lie, this opening was definitely a shock to me at 5 AM. However, once the film was started, it wasn't too hard. It probably helped that I picked a film I really enjoyed. I can imagine if I picked something that dragged a bit more, it wouldn't have been as easy. But so far, I can see how this would work for Bong. Honestly, once the film was in motion, it did motivate me to get on with my day. It did help that I resonated with the plot, wanting to be creative and constantly make things. Either way though, so far we're off to a great start. In fact, I'd go so far as saying that the hardest part was actually eating early. But next up we have the animated film Paprika. Now, for those of you who are aware of Satoshi Kon's work, then you'll probably know this wasn't the smartest choice to watch at 5 AM. I've also seen some of his other stuff, and for some reason I watched it anyway. But for those of you who don't know, Paprika is the 2006 animated film, written and directed by the aforementioned Satoshi Kon, creator of films like Perfect Blue and Tokyo Godfather. And in this movie, when a machine that allows therapists to enter patients' dreams is stolen, let's just say things aren't always how they seem. Don't get me wrong, this is a great movie. The themes, the colours, the animation. 5 AM though? You see, Bong mentions in this interview that he prefers to wake up early to watch films, because in the evening he falls asleep. For me though, I've only done this for 1 day, so I can imagine it will take a lot of getting used to. That being said, I can see how this would work for Bong before a busy day of writing or shooting, because it really did help me adjust to waking up early. Not to mention how it's so quiet in my house, so I can really put all my energy into watching the film. Not sure about headphones yet. I do need to use them, but I much prefer watching out loud. And last up, we have the incredible long historical war film, Lawrence of Arabia. If you somehow haven't seen Lawrence of Arabia, for one, what are you doing? And for two, the film follows Thomas Edward Lawrence, a lieutenant in the British Army who helps lead an Arabian revolt in World War I. Actually, to my surprise, this film was a lot more of a character study than I was expecting. Granted, it has the grandeur with the sweeping wide shots and battle sequences, but this was actually a lot more of a personal story. However, how was this historical epic at 5 AM? Let's just say I'm grateful for caffeine. On a real though, I actually had a blast. It felt so good to conquer this beast of a film before going about the rest of my day. I felt like I spent the majority of my time after thinking about this film and really marinating it over in my head. Overall, I enjoyed this challenge a lot more than I expected. Again, for someone like Bong, I feel like this is the perfect way to start the day. Just spending 2 hours uninterrupted alone time for you and your passion. And for me, I wish I could stick to this routine. Unfortunately, I work a lot of late hours, sometimes not getting home till like 1 AM, so it's not always possible. But on days where I can sleep early, I would recommend trying this. Granted, it's not for everyone, and not everyone can fit this into their day, but I really enjoyed trying Bong's routine. It's so easy to get set in your ways, so it's nice to switch things up once in a while. Thanks for watching.